Welcome. For today's video, I'm going to check out Gamera the Giant Monster. Gamera the Giant Monster is a 1965 Japanese kaiju film directed by Noriaki Yuasa with special effects by Yonesaburo Tsukiji and produced and distributed by Daiei Film. It is also the first film in the Gamera franchise and during the Showa era. And for those who don't know, this film was basically made to cash in on Godzilla, and these two have been clashing ever since. But the question is, will it be as good as the Godzilla films? Well, let's find out. So without further ado, let's check it out. So the film begins in the Arctic, where Japanese scientists led by Dr. Hidaka, along with his assistant Kyoko and reporter Aoyagi, and they are on an exposition where they meet up with some Eskimos and they spot some jets. Yeah, for those who don't know, this takes place during the Cold War.
The war even comes to this Eskimo village. Soon there won't be any peace anywhere.
And since it's the Cold War, let's stock up on nukes. Anyways, these unidentified aircrafts got the Americans spooked, so they do what they do best, shoot down the fucker.
America, fuck yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America, fuck yeah.
And so the aircraft crashes, and it had an atomic bomb as its cargo.
Be careful though, don't go into that area. There's radiation there.
True, Oppenheimer taught me that shit. Anyways, the explosion wakes up our titular kaiju Gamera.
Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude.
And we get the opening credits showing off Gamera's physique.
Boring.
Anyways, Dr. Hidaka is then given a stone tablet by an Eskimo chief, who explains that the creature is called Gamera. Then Gamera destroys the exposition ship.
Well, we're boned.
And the Americans are baffled by the ship's SOS message.
Huge turtle, 60 meters. What's going on around here?
I don't know, sir. Looks like a huge turtle made its appearance.
No shit, Sherlock.
Then we end up in New York as Dr. Hidaka is on the news as he notifies the world of Gamera.
I warn all of you that Gamera is violent and must therefore be approached with the utmost caution.
Well, duh.
But enough of that shit, we end up in Sagami Bay where we meet Toshiro, a boy who is super obsessed with turtles.
He even has a little turtle that he carries everywhere.
Oh no, he brings it to school with him?
Yes, he seems to cling to it.
So basically, he's like the 60s version of the zombie kid. And his parents force him to release his pet turtle. And later on, his family encounters Gamera, who attacks their lighthouse, with Toshiro still inside. However, Gamera does this. And because of that, Toshiro becomes attached to Gamera. Anyways, upon returning to Japan, Dr. Hidaka, Yuko, and Aoyagi accompany the military when Gamera approaches a geothermal power plant. And despite the attempts to prevent its approach, Gamera proceeds to attack the power plant and devours the flames around it. Dr. Hidaka consults with Dr. Muruase.
Gamera's body must be stronger than metal. And if that's true, the situation is even more serious than we thought. It has the power to convert organic matter into inorganic matter.
Then that means nuclear weapons are totally useless against it.
Yes, that's it.
We're doomed!
Doomed. Doomed.
And the military recommends using experimental freezing bombs. And the bombs postpone Gamera's assault as the military rig the area with explosives and succeed in turning the monster on its back. However, Gamera pulls a trick up his shell. And yep, he he is flying. Anyways, Toshiro and his sister visit Dr. Hidaka while staying in Tokyo with their uncle. Toshiro explains to Dr. Hidaka his belief that Gamera is lonely and not evil.
You know, Kenny has a vivid imagination.
Didn't he save my life? Gamera must be very lonely and must need friends. I'm sure he must be very hungry, too.
Kid, turn it off.
Well, if that's true, why the fuck is he destroying a power plant? Dr. Hidaka, meanwhile, has observed that Gamera consumes fossil fuels and may seek atomic bombs for energy, just like a certain other kaiju. Meanwhile, disasters and accidents start to occur as Kodo Ward is struck by flash floods and ships colliding in Tokyo Bay. Dr. Hidaka claims that the cause may be Gamera hiding in the bay. Then the International Scientific Conference is called and decide to use Plan Z.
Using it on Gamera might exhaust its resources. Its main purpose is to advance peaceful scientific work, and it's really not designed for a military-like undertaking of this sort.
Wow. The interesting thing about that is...
Then Gamera lands on Haneda Airport and proceeds to wreak havoc in Tokyo. Toshiro and his family evacuate, but Toshiro runs away like a fucking idiot, and the military keep Gamera at bay at an oil refinery by feeding it petroleum by trains. However, Toshiro pulls this
You nearly got us both killed. You better go home.
No!
Get the fuck out of here!
while they continue preparation for Plan Z. As Nobuyo searches for her brother, Toshiro attempts to breach restricted areas to see Gamera, but he is caught at Oshima.
I was worried about Gamera.
Kenny, you're a friend of Gamera, huh?
Mm-hmm. Kenny, let's go.
Good, now get him the fuck out of there. Anyways, Plan Z is eventually completed and Gamera is lured to Oshima by lighting an oil slick path. However, an approaching typhoon blows the fire out. Oyagi starts a bonfire to lower back Gamera, but it is also extinguished by the typhoon. A nearby volcano erupts, successfully luring Gamera. The next day, Plan Z is put into action, and basically, Gamera is lured into the nose cone of a giant rocket and launched to Mars.
We could not destroy Gamera on Earth, but the Z-Plan, the last hope of mankind, succeeded in sending Gamera up to Mars.
Well, better hope those Martians like turtles. And the world celebrates as Gamera is gone, and Toshiro tells Hidaka he will become a scientist so he can visit Gamera, and he bids the monster farewell, completely ignoring that he's responsible for millions of deaths. And that was Gamera the Giant Monster. And the film was a bigger hit than what the studio expected, which led to a higher budget for the second film, Gamera vs. Barugon. A heavily altered version of the film was theatrically released in the United States a year after its Japanese release. And in case you're wondering, critical reception was rather mixed. In addition, the film would later get a cult following as it was featured on Mystery Science Theater 3000. Filmmaker Guillermo del Toro named the original film among his top 5 favorite kaiju films. And Gamera was also referenced in the Dragon Ball manga and anime. But like I said, it later got a cult following and it spawned a franchise which continues to this very day. And so, what do I think of the film? And it's alright. I will admit it's no Godzilla, but it's okay in its own right. Gamera's a pretty cool monster as not only can he breathe fire and destroy shit, he can also fly, which at the time Godzilla couldn't even do that. But I will say, one of the weaker parts is the characters, especially the kid, as he is really annoying and gets in the way. But yeah, the film's not that bad, it's okay. Its special effects are okay for the time, the cinematography is good, especially with it being in black and white. So I would say this film is a very decent kaiju film. It's silly, schlocky, but it's enjoyable as long as you ignore the kid. So I'll give it 3 out of 5 Gameras. And that was the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos just like this. Oh, and if you like my work, support the channel at Ko-Fi. There you can support me with as little as $1 a month, and you get to drop suggestions for any future projects you want me to check out, and you get to have your names in the credits. And if you do support me, I thank you very much, and I appreciate it very much. So stay safe out there, and goodbye.
Just the same, I hate being separated from my goddess.
Say